I'm going to be assembling the TRAK 2.0 today, and I'm going to be as detailed as I can. There's many videos out there, but you don't see the tiny little details. So let's see if I can show you everything that you want to see. So everything that you need can be stored and packed into this little bag. It's actually quite heavy. It weighs around 24 kilograms, and I'll put the specs on the screen for you right now so you can see the length, the width, and also the weight. And the weight of the TRAK itself is about 20 kilograms. I'm taking everything out first because it makes it a lot easier for me to assemble. So here are the pieces that you can see already, and this is my C-sock over here, which I'll show you how to attach later. Now these are separate flotation devices, so you have to blow them up, but these are very important for your TRAK because you don't have any compartments. It's not like other kayaks where they have different compartments so that the water doesn't fill up. So this is very, very important for you to have and to use. Here we have the red. So there's a really easy way to remember which of these are for which side of the TRAK 2.0. So looking at this, it's obvious. You can see it's blue and a red. So blue is the bow. So the bow is the front of the kayak. Then let me move this aside and put this across. And then, oops. Oh, I forgot I had these frames inside, tucked in here for protection. Okay, so in the previous video, you saw me assemble this, and it was a time lapse, and it took me about 20 minutes to assemble, but I've gotten a lot faster as well. Now I've got everything. Okay, so let's start putting these together. Oh, okay, so it's a bit noisy. Okay, so I'll put this straight first, and then I'll start assembling this and clipping it on. Now, one tip I suggest is to have something to protect the frames because it can scrape. So as you can see, I'm on like synthetic grass, so I'm pretty confident it won't scratch anything. But I also have like a red mat. So for areas that are like concrete or any really rough surfaces, I will definitely put that down. One of the things that you want to make sure, so if you've ever been camping, you've seen the frames. They all slot into each other very, very easily. But there's this one area here where you need to make sure you clip in properly here. So if you can see, like this, and clip it in so that later you won't damage your frame when you put pressure on the kayak. So I'm just putting that through. That's done. This is done. Okay, so 1, 2. So now I almost missed a couple here, so we're putting that through here as well. And then there we go. So it's all complete. So that's already done. Very quick, very easy. Now just make sure you set up your foot braces already. I know exactly how many slots I need to put it, so it's always consistent. But just try it out at home first so that you know exactly which spot that you like it at. Okay, so now that's opened up. Okay, so again, I'm putting it through the slot first. Very, very easy. And then now I'm making sure that there we go, like that. Okay, let's put that in. 1, 2. Oops, this is connected there. And then again, last one. So that should be all complete. So I'm going to put this aside first. Okay, now it's time to put on the ribs. Okay, so you have 2 sizes and you have 2 for the bow and the stern. One of the easiest way to see how you point this direction is that you actually have an arrow here. So this arrow is pointing always to the end. So for example here, this one will be pointing to the bow. Okay, so I know that's the top, so this one, you just need to slot it into this hole here and just snap it in. As easy as that. It's actually very easy, you don't need to put much pressure onto this. So again here, I'm just going to be snapping it in this one, which I can see is for this. Okay, there we go. So that's 3 already. And then, okay, just need to make sure this is flat. I have the very bottom, that, 2, and 3. So this is actually not very difficult. This is a very easy part of the assembly process. And similarly, we also do it here. So this one is a little different. You can see it's definitely larger, but then you also have little holes here. And here you have this bit, which is for the cockpit frame. Again, I'm pointing the arrow to the front. So here, I've got the holes down here, where I'm just going to put it through the bottom like that. Now you just need to align the rest together. So I've got one here. Oops, you have to put a bit of pressure so that it all fits. And then you have the last bit where you just hook it on to the top like that. And you're done. Now this is the moment where I attach the C-sock. Okay. You have to do it now, even before you put it into the kayak itself. What I like to do, as you guys already know, I like to take videos. So I found a different way to record. So I'm using this thing called, these magnets called snap mounts. And they work very well and attach the cameras on the outside just through magnetism. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this here, and later I'll adjust it so that it doesn't move around, and done. Okay, so this is for later. Now the C-sock, let me get the C-sock here. Okay, so first of all, you have to put this through like this. Now let me show you the attachment. So you have a few clips here. What I like to do with this is just here, put it through like that. So you have this hole, and then I just clip it through like that. Okay, then I do the same for this side too. And what I found that it doesn't really move around while I'm using it. So it's, at first I thought, okay, maybe this is not the right way, but it's worked well for me. Okay, now I'm going to do the same process, but now it's the red for the stern. Now again, I'm going to be pointing this arrow towards the front. Okay, so let me just figure out which one's the top frame. Okay, so this one's the top frame, just put it through. Okay, just make sure all of it is covered. Last piece, actually last piece here. Done. Okay, so this looks right. And then again, with this piece, there's a few holes here as well. So 1, 2, 3, just to make sure the V, again, pointing to the right direction to put it through. 1, 2, 3, like that. Then I'm just going to clip in the rest like that. Oops, now I just missed something. So here's a bit of a tip, just to make sure that you set it up properly so that your seat, the backing of the seat, is comfortable and in the right position. Just make sure this here, these are buckles. Just make sure they're in the center when you're assembling this so that it doesn't move around. Okay, and then, oops, I've got one more here that I missed. And there we go, voila, done. Now this is a stage where I normally put one of these floating devices in. It makes it easier to do it now rather than later. But before that, I'm going to put my magnetic snap mount again so that I can prepare later for where I want to position my camera. So here like this. Okay, so I'll just put that aside. Now I'm going to blow up this flotation device. Okay. This takes a bit of effort. Okay, so let me just roll this up first. Okay, done. So normally by now, what I would do is already put it in that. Don't really need to attach it to anything, because once it firms up, it'll stay here nice and tight. Okay, so it's looking pretty good. Now don't forget to close this off, and then I just slip it down here so that it doesn't move around. Okay, good. Okay, now so let me open up the skin of the kayak. So let me just open this up. 3. So it's pretty easy to identify which is the bow and the stern. The stern will have like this back access where you can just slide it along and to open up the back. So to make this easier, what I normally do is that I open this up the back like this, so then I can just slip in the frame. But even before we do that, this is one tip. Once you clean everything, it becomes quite sticky in the way that it's very dry. It's quite hard to insert the frame into the skin. So what TRAK gives us, well, when we purchase the kayak, is that they give you one of these, and this is Emox Plus. So it's like a lubricant, and it's supposed to protect the frame, also make it easier to insert the frames. What I normally do is I put it at the front, just rub it a bit, just at the front here, where it inserts. And then usually these points here, where the frame meets the ribs, so that's where I normally put it so that it inserts easier. Then here as well, I'll do it one time just so that it's easier to insert and doesn't cause me a lot of pain. So if you're expecting this kayak to be set up within a couple of minutes, please manage your expectations, because there's a few steps that you need to take care of even before you get on the water. Okay, so now I'm happy with that. So I'll open this up, and that should slide in pretty easily. Okay. Okay, make sure that's slid in. This one is there like that. Okay. Now you got to jiggle it a bit. Oh, okay, let's go. But that looks pretty good for now. At this point in time, I would have been closing the hatch at the back. I'll leave it open so it gives me room to play with a little later. I'm just sliding it a bit more. So here as well, for the bow, I'm just going to put some oil on the frame. I mean, with this oil that I'm putting on, I will put it on maybe once in every, 2 to 3 times of going onto the water, because it actually kind of stays on a little bit. Normally I'd be finished by now, but of course I'm showing you this demo, and it does look like it's quite a fair bit to do, but it's actually quite fast. Honestly, if you're by one person and if you're not that strong, it can become a bit of a challenge. Oh. Okay, it's sliding through very easily. Now just to open up that bit a bit. Make sure that the sea sock doesn't get stuck. Okay, this one here. Okay, it's just sliding in now. There we go. Just make sure this is okay. Jiggle it a bit. Whew. And now we come to the fun part with these hydraulic jacks. So now, as you can see, we still need to get the frames further out to the bow and the stern. And using these hydraulic jacks really helps. So again, now the blue indicates the blue frame and then also the bow. Okay, so now even before I put in the jacks, what I want to do is make sure that the frames are in the right position. So in the kayak, on the rib of the last 2 pieces here, there's a little mini groove, just to make sure that in the groove. Okay, I lock it. Now this is the fun bit. You'll start seeing the kayak both moving to the front and the back. So now to put it in properly, so you've got the blue, and then here you've got the red. Just slot it through like that. I mean, this bit here, there's a little tricks, and if you don't know the tricks, it it's not the easiest, but once you get used to it, once you adjust, it makes it a lot easier. And now I have 2 more hydraulic jacks just to put on the side here, and I want to put it in now because I just want to make sure the frame and everything fits correctly into this hole here. Done. I lock it up. Now it's locked, and then I'm going to, there we go, just put a bit of pressure in for now so that it expands. I'm going to do the same. So where is it? The blue is for the bow. Unlock this first to make it easier. Nope, it's okay, I've got enough space. Okay, so I'm happy with that. So now one of the tips I would say is to release all of these so that it's not so stiff, because it makes it easier for you later to put in your seats and also to close up the hatch here at the back. Now the next step is to put in the cockpit. So up here I showed you there's this little clip at the front. Okay, so we've got the clip here. All I need to do is insert the front into that, lift it up, and inject. That's it. So you're in there now, so that's not going to move unless I release it later like that. Okay, so I'm just going to put it in. Okay, oops, I just missed that. And now it's a matter of me just putting in the frame. So like, okay. There we go, that's good. Okay. Again, this is another tip just to make sure, see how this buckle here has to sit in the middle, because this will attach to the seat. Okay, here, okay, that looks solid all the way until the back here. Okay, done. Okay, now to adjust the seats. So, okay, you'll see this here. This is more like a support, so that later, once you put your seat in, you can see how this frame can get pushed down. But once you have everything in place, this will lock it in so that, you know, you won't have that much play, especially when you're going to be sitting down. Okay, now what we have to do is, of course, put this through here like that. But this will attach to your seat. So just to make sure that that's aligned already first, here, just push down. And this is a mechanism that locks it into place. So like that. So it's locked now. As much as I want to move it, it will not move. And the seat will attach to this. Now I'm going to do the same to the other side. And voila, very, very simple, very easy. And it's already done. Now I'm putting the seat in like that. And then slide in the groove. 1, 2. And you push it in, and then there it goes. So it's all locked in at the moment. And you have the back here clipping to the back seat like this. Okay, and then sits very flat, very comfortably, just like that. Now I'm going to play around with this so that, where's my magnet? So then I will have my camera attaching to the magnet here. So you have the magnet here. So you can see, that's how I attach it. And because it's a skin-on frame, it actually sits very, very well like this. And because this is an Insta360 camera, it doesn't matter which angle you point it at, and it's going to be fine. Now here, I just have a safety cord, just in case it does fall off, so then I'm going to be okay. So now I'm just going to slide this all through. If I do that properly, I'm just going to put some oil here, just to make it easier for it to slide. This oil here is essential, because if you don't put this oil, it just becomes very, very difficult to do these type of things, okay? I mean, this was always a challenge for me. It always has been a challenge for me, but I've realized once you put the oil in, it does become a lot easier. There we go, see? Now I'm going to put this in like that, just to make sure everything is okay. So the last bit here is a bit difficult to see, but there is a hole for you to clip this on. There we go. And then slide that through, and voila. See, you heard that click, so that means it's in properly. Now I would play with the hydraulic jacks to firm up everything. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So there is a tip saying that you shouldn't be doing these jacks more than 10 times on land, but you can do more on the water. But I'm just doing this so that I have some firmness. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now the last part is putting in my sea sock. So this, for me, it's the first time I've ever used a sea sock, and it has been quite a surprise to use, and I'm really enjoying it. And you're in. Now if you're using a sea sock, a tip I would say, or I would suggest, is that even before you're going into the water, go inside, because what you've done is you've created a seal. So once you go in there, the air pushes, the volume of yourself will push the air out. So then there's actually quite a bit of pressure on the sea sock. So what I normally do is, even before I'm heading out, I would go sit like this, and you can see it's created a bubble. It's pretty much created a bubble. So what I do is, to release that air, I would open it up. Okay, done. Let me move that a bit more. There we go. And now that you've pushed all the air out, now it's much more comfortable.